Today, we're diving into the psychological impact of abrupt relationship endings, especially when there's no closure. Dr. Williams, can you explain what happens emotionally when someone is suddenly cut off without explanation?
Absolutely. This kind of abandonment triggers a unique blend of grief and confusion. Unlike typical breakups, the lack of answers amplifies feelings of rejection and self-doubt. Studies show that people in such situations often experience symptoms similar to acute stress disorder.
That makes sense, especially given the story we just heard, where the protagonist didn't cry outwardly but described dying inside. How do these internalized emotions impact long-term well-being?
Internalizing pain, instead of expressing it, can actually prolong recovery. According to a 2019 survey by Psychology Today, nearly 60% of individuals who suppress heartbreak report persistent issues with trust and intimacy for years after the event.
So, would you say closure is essential for emotional healing?
Closure isn't always attainable, but actively processing the loss through journaling or therapy can foster resilience. And as we transition to the next phase, some people channel this pain into personal transformation, which is what we see next in our story.
Let's explore how intense emotional pain can fuel ambition. After his heartbreak, our protagonist eliminated all distractions and dedicated himself entirely to work. Dr. Williams, is this a common response?
It's actually a well-documented phenomenon called post-traumatic growth. When faced with severe loss, some individuals redirect their emotional energy into self-improvement or career pursuits. We see this in athletes after setbacks or entrepreneurs after failures.
But is there a risk in turning pain into hustle? For example, he lost friends, and could this approach backfire?
Absolutely. While single-minded focus can yield impressive results, it may come at the cost of social isolation or burnout. The Harvard Business Review found that 72% of startup founders reported significant loneliness during periods of intense work after personal crises.
So it's a double-edged sword?
Precisely. The drive can be transformative, but without balance, it risks creating new emotional wounds. The protagonist's journey illustrates both the power and the pitfalls of channeling heartbreak into ambition as we move toward exploring his eventual success.
Despite lacking material resources, our protagonist built a thriving business. Dr. Williams, how does starting with nothing shape an entrepreneur's journey?
Limited resources can actually sharpen creativity and resilience. There's a concept called resource constraint innovation. Think of companies like Airbnb or Spanx, both of which emerge from tight budgets. Scarcity forces individuals to innovate and persevere through setbacks.
That's fascinating. But our protagonists face repeated failure and isolation. Statistically, what separates those who persist from those who give up?
Grit is a major differentiator. Angela Duckworth's research found that people with higher grit scores were 40% more likely to achieve long-term goals, regardless of initial resources. Support systems help, but a deep sense of purpose like proving oneself can be a powerful motivator.
Are there real-world parallels to this self-made narrative?
Absolutely. Many public figures from Oprah Winfrey to Elon Musk cite early adversity as the catalyst for their drive. Their stories, like our protagonists, highlight how setbacks can be reframed as launching pads for extraordinary success.
Now comes the twist. After his rise to fame, the woman who left reached out as if nothing happened. Dr. Williams, what psychological dynamics are at play in such re-encounters?
When someone reappears after a perceived betrayal, it often triggers a complex mix of vindication, resentment, and unresolved longing. The power dynamic has shifted. What was once rejection is now pursuit, and this reversal can be emotionally confusing.
In situations like this, is forgiveness advisable?